Picture this, a dark night sky over a contested border. The Russian Su-35, a maneuverable beast with deadly missiles, locks onto the American F-22 Raptor. Target acquired. The pilot shouts as the R-77 rocket screams through the air at Mach 4. But in a blink, the F-22 vanishes like a ghost, leaving the missile to chase shadows. Stealth versus raw power. Who wins in this ultimate aerial showdown? If you think brute force always triumphs, think again. This is the battle where invisibility becomes the deadliest weapon. Stick around to see why the F-22 is the king of the skies and why Russia fears it. Let us set the stage for this epic clash. The F-22 Raptor, introduced in 2005 by Lockheed Martin, is the pinnacle of American air superiority. Designed during the Cold War's twilight, it is a fifth-generation stealth fighter built to dominate any adversary. With a price tag of around $150 million per unit, only 195 were ever produced, making it a rare and precious asset for the US Air Force. Its key strength: invisibility. The F-22's radar cross-section is as small as a bumblebee, meaning enemy radars see it as a tiny blip, if at all. Powered by twin Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines, it can supercruise at Mach 1.5 without afterburners, reaching top speeds over Mach 2. It carries up to 8 air-to-air missiles internally, avoiding any radar-reflecting pylons. The F-77 radar scans to 140 degrees and can track multiple targets while staying undetected. On the other side, the Su-35 Flunker, operational since 2014 from Russia's Sukhoi, is a fourth-generation multi-role fighter, an upgraded version of the legendary Su-27, costing about $65 million. Over 150 have been built, serving Russia, China, and others. It has a powerhouse of maneuverability, thanks to 3D thrust vectoring nozzles that allow it to twist and turn like no other jet, pulling up to 9 G-forces. The Irbis-E radar detects targets up to 400 kilometers away, and it can carry 12 missiles, including the long-range R-37MX head at 400 km. Top speed Mach 2.25, and it is equipped for air-to-air, air-to-ground, and electronic warfare. Provocation time: can the Su-35's agility close the gap on the F-22's stealth? Or is it just a sitting duck in simulations? The answer might surprise you. Now, let us dive into what makes the F-22 a ghost in the machine. Stealth isn't magic, it is engineering genius. The jet's angular design deflects radar waves away from the source, rather than bouncing them back. Special radar absorbent materials coat the skin, absorbing up to 99% of radar energy and converting it to heat. No external weapons or fuel tanks, everything is internal to maintain that low Earth. Imagine a radar seeing a Boeing 747 as a house. The F-22 appears as a marble. This allows it to approach undetected, often within 50 km before enemies react. The engines are marvels too. Thrust vectoring gives it super maneuverability, but supercruise means it can fly supersonic without the fuel-guzzling afterburner, extending range to 30 km. Armament: 6 AIM-120D AMRAAMs for beyond visual range kills, plus AIM-9X Sidewinders for close combat. The radar, F-77, is an active electronically scanned array ASA, with 2.0 modules, tracking 100 targets while jamming enemy sensors. Integrated avionics fuse data from satellites, AWACS, and ground radar into a single picture on the pilot's helmet-mounted display. Provocation: in a real war, could the Su-35 even spot the F-22 before it is too late? Experts say no, the F-22 strikes first 90% of the time. But if Su-35 survives the initial volley and gets close, its agility could turn the tide. Is stealth overrated, or is it the ultimate game changer? Comment your take. Shift gears to the Russian contender. The Su-35 is a force of nature. Evolved from the Su-27 Flunker, it is designed for all-weather, multi-role operations. The standout feature is 3D thrust vectoring. The engine's nozzles swivel in all directions, allowing post-stall maneuvers like the Cobra or Culbit, where the jet flips 360 degrees while hovering. This gives it unmatched dogfighting prowess, pulling 9G turns that would black out lesser pilots. The radar, N-35 Irbis-E, is a passive phased array that detects stealth targets at reduced ranges but sees conventional jets up to 400 km. It can track 30 targets and engage 8 simultaneously. Armament is massive, up to 12 air-to-air missiles, including the R-700 and 71 150 km range, and hypersonic R-37 M400 km. Add bombs, anti-ship missiles, and electronic countermeasures pods for jamming. Engines L-41 F-1S push it to Mach 2, 25, with a range of 600 km on internal fuel. Provocation. Imagine a close-range brawl. Su-35's vectoring lets it outturn the F-22, firing infrared-guided R-73 missiles that don't need radar. But here's the twist. To get close, Su-35 must survive the F-22's long-range stealth strike. Is Russian power enough to crack American invisibility? Or is it a fatal flaw? Experts in simulations say Su-35 rarely survives the first phase. What do you think power trumps stealth? Time for the main event. A step-by-step reconstruction of a hypothetical F-22 versus Su-35 duel, based on real military simulations like red flag exercises and RAND reports. Scene: neutral airspace over the Pacific. Night patrol. The Su-35 flies at Mach 1. 2. Radar scanning 400 km ahead. Suddenly, a faint blip, but it is erratic. The F-22, cruising at Mach 1. 5 undetected, has already locked on from 200 km away. F-22 pilot activates in AP-77, confirming the Su-35. Fox 3, AIM-120D launches, guided by active radar homing. The missile closes at Mach 4. Su-35's warning system blares at maneuvers with thrust vectoring, pulling a 9G turn to deploy chaff and flares. The first missile misses, exploding harmlessly. But F-22 fires a second volley. Su-35 counters with R-77, but its radar struggles with the F-22's low Earth. The shot is blind. Provocation. At this range, stealth gives F-22 the edge. The AIM-120 hits, damaging Su-35's engine. Su-35 limps, trying to close for dogfight, but F-22 uses super cruise to disengage, vanishing again. In 80 simulations, F-22 wins without a scratch. Is this realistic, or Russian upgrades like S-400 integration change game? Comment if you think Su-35 has a chance in close quarters. But let us assume Su-35 survives the long-range strike and closes to visual range. Now it is dogfight territory. The Su-35 shines here with 3D vectoring. It performs the Pugachev's Cobra, stopping mid-air to get behind the F-22. R-73 infrared missiles lock on heat signatures, firing at 30 km. The F-22, though maneuverable, lacks the Su's extreme agility. Its thrust vectoring is today limited to pitch. F-22 counters with AIM-9X blocky, which can fire off boresight up to 90 degrees, guided by helmet cueing. The pilot looks at the Su-35 and shoots. Su-35 deploys flares, evading, and unleashes cannon fire from its X-301 gun at 800 rounds. The battle turns chaotic. Loops, rolls, high G turns. In simulations, if it reaches this stage, Su-35 wins 40-50 time due to superior kinematics. Provocation. Is the F-22 reliant on stealth, making it vulnerable up close? Or does its sensor fusion fusing radar, ear, U data, give the edge even in melee? RAND studies show overall F-22 dominance at 21 kill ratio. But in a real war like Ukraine scenarios, electronic warfare could tip the scale for Su-35. Who has your bet, American tech or Russian muscle? Wrapping up this showdown, the lessons are clear. In modern air war, first detection wins. F-22's stealth allows it to strike unseen, turning Su-35 into a target before it reacts. Simulations from US Air Force and NATO consistently give F-22 a 90 win rate. thanks to range and invisibility. Su-35 excels in saturated environments with support like S-400, but alone against stealth, it is outmatched. Final verdict. F-22 outmatches Su-35 in most scenarios. Stealth power triumphs over brute force. But upgrades like Su-35S with new radars could narrow the gap. Provocation. In a real conflict, would Russia risk Su-35 against F-22? Or is this just sim talk? Comment your thoughts. F-22 unbeatable or Su-35 underrated? If you loved this, like and subscribe to us Air Power Stories for more jet battles. Next up, F-35 versus S-500. See you there, stay airborne.